Hey, welcome back to Red Shoes Diary. I hope you're have had a great week, and hopefully where you at, it's doing well for you. We've had some awesome fall weather this week. Actually, the last 8, 10 days looks like. I think we're gonna give a few more days. Maybe try to go to some fall festivals this weekend. I hope wherever you at, whatever's going on in your life, you spend a little time with friends, family, loved ones. Who knows? Maybe you got to get out and wander around, experience this beautiful weather. And I hope wherever you're at it's beautiful. Put it that way. I'm up here at Kent's place, Kent folks' place. I come up here to do a couple little things for them this morning. I thought, well, it's a beautiful view up here. Hopefully you can see it back through there. It's just a spectacular view. And I thought I'd share that with you. That'd be a good place to do the video. Hopefully wind ain't too bad. It's blowing through here today. And I hope that you're fat and sassy. My niece and nephew and their children, and my sister, which is their mom, came up this weekend, and camped out over on our farm, and my own daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughter came up on Saturday. My other sister, so I guess it's really all of us together, as part of the family all at one time. Everybody just sort of together and enjoying it. Middle sister and my daughter and her husband and granddaughter didn't camp out, but maybe next year. Who knows? It's really, really great evening, great time. Able to do stuff together, wander around. Of course, their lives are in a city, and they don't have a. You know, I guess my daughter, as far as my mom and dad's grandkids, have the closest thing to what a rural raising and sort of the farm life. But the rest of them, especially the great nieces and nephews, that ain't never been, they've never grown up doing that. Of course, the oldest is 11, and down to the youngest, which will soon be, well, she turns 2. Now, that's a wild child. And but anyway, I got to think, we've done different things, walking stuff. Went and fixed still up on the float and brought the tractor up and had hay bales, so they'd never been on a hay ride. And that was a good time to listen to them talk. Oh, I've never been on a hay ride. All little and stuff. And we went to my neighbor's farm over there, joined us. And he's got a big spring fed pond stuff and had a 4-seat paddle boat. We stopped, went up there, and they unloaded. Of course, kids are already trying to everyone pile onto the boat. I had to laugh. My nephew's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he got to look at us. He goes, okay, I'll paddle. And you get over here, you here. Now you others sit right there. When I'll take them around the pond, come back, then I'll get you all. And I had to laugh because that was sort of, I'm watching him sort of doing the way it was when I was growing up with all us kids floating around when they was little, trying to direct traffic and keep everybody going and not do something totally insane, like fall in or whatever. So I had to laugh about that. Of course, I was a little kid, because you had, let's see, you had 4 boys. You got 3 little girls. And little girls about as tough as boys are. I mean, that's literally the truth. I don't, so sure the youngest one won't soon be 2. I think her and my granddaughter pretty close to be on the feral side. They'll about try to do anything. They're pretty into whatever you think it up with your head. But I was thankful, that family got to spend time together like that. And one of the biggest things for me though was, once you let these kids all out, my sister's children, they live out near Nashville, so their kids, they get to visit more often. But like with my granddaughter, they don't, because the way things are set up. Holiday stuff, we separate that out. Families being so far apart, but as soon as they unload, all the little girls, they talk, oh, well, you want to do this, you want to do that. I mean, they're just automatic. And I'm thinking, how wise as we adults, we venture away from that, I guess, be the best thing. Why do we become, so a lot of times standoffish? We're busy looking at the other person, trying to figure out who they are, what they want. Sometimes the innocence of a child just makes you smile. You know, and I think about that a lot. It's just a shame, and as we get older, a lot of times we get so hard-hearted, or well, who are you and what do you want, whatever. It's hard to just be friendly to one another. Say, hey, come on, let's go do this, let's go do that. People have got so sped up in this world they forget about simple things like that. You want some enjoyment, watch little kids get together. Usually they'll talk a little bit, figure out a little pecking order, whatever they got to do, or you know, uh, just it doesn't matter. They don't care about what you're driving, what you're wearing. They ain't worried about any of that. Just we're here to have fun, enjoy it. Sometimes that's what our lives have gotten over. We forget to take the simple enjoyment, just the laughter and the fun, being around people, enjoying it. I'm not sure how we got so spun out over it. Now it's just sad. You know, People are so sped up in this world, and everybody's also, it's going so fast, sped so fast, doing this, doing that, and it is true. We are like that, but sometimes we buy into that theory. We don't make ourselves think about it. You know, we're always Most times people complain about this, about that, whatever. But you know, most of the time you have the ability to slow it down yourself. You have the ability to accept people, when they come to you. Maybe later they'll do something that you're like, well, okay, I don't want to be around a person. Attitude wise stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't want a lot of negativity in your life. You don't want people's always bringing just Debbie Downers, as they used to call them. Just always something wrong, find something wrong. We're fighting and fussing, feuding, quarreling. I don't know. Not me. Maybe that's your world. If it is and you live in it, carry on. Have at it. That's not me, though. But like I said, anyway, thankful for the time with the family. I'm thankful for answered prayers that, like me still being here after all my surgeries and stuff. And lots of days I hurt and everything else, beat up, banged up over the years, or your body wears out. It's just life, folks. And he still gives me, able to go and do and get up in the morning and try to always remember when my feet hit the floor just to stop and thank him that my feet's hit the floor. I'm able to go and do. And I try to remember when I'm looking out about seeing people and stuff. I try to find the best I can in them. Maybe if I find the best in them, maybe they'll find a little goodness in me somewhere. I don't know. They've always said what you put out in the world comes back to you, I guess. Maybe that's part of it. You're hateful and mean, a lot of times the world seems to come back at you with it. And sometimes good people do get ran over. Sometimes you're just big-hearted people just take it for granted. But I also think at the end of the day, you sleep with a clean conscience on it. Whether people accept you or not, you've done your best. You've done the best you could. You go to bed that night, not worry about it or whatever. Of course, there's a lot of people just flat mean to people, and they go to bed without bothering their conscience at all because of the way they're wired. And that's a sad way to be, I believe. I hate to be that way. But anyway, I hope that wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, you have a great week. I hope you take time to talk to the good Lord. And I truly hope you get out and, all this, good Lord made all this out here for us. I hope you go out and experience it. Wander around with it. Maybe call your friends, family, loved ones. Even the Bible speaks about people who are closer to you than your family or than your brother is. That become more family. In lots of ways, that is true. Some of the biggest divisions I've seen in families is blood kin families that just will not get along. And that's a sad deal. Sad that it's that way. But that's their choice. That's their path to take, and happiness or miserable, being miserable, it doesn't matter. That's their choice. And that's a sad thought. Anyway, I hope that wherever you go, whatever you do, I hope you be more childlike. Take a little time to be more gracious. Smile a little more. Play a little more. Laugh a little more. try to enjoy your life a little more, folks, because, we ain't got but this one ride. As time goes on, times get a little shorter. But then again, if you prayed up, you saved. You got right, as my mama used to say, you prayed up, packed up, ready to go. Well, that next world we're going to, it's a whole lot better than this. Sitting here in different places I've been, how beautiful it is. If, where I'm going home beats this, that's going to be awesome. I'm just telling you, folks. I'm thankful that Lord heard my cries all those years ago. That when I got on my knees beside my mama at her bedside, and you know what? When I got up, I was okay. I wasn't afraid to go to sleep no more. I knew I'd be all right. And I'm thankful for that feeling. Hopefully you have that. If you ain't, I hope you find it, folks. Because this last breath you just took, well, you don't get that back again, folks. Anyway, smile, laugh, have a good time, Find family, friends, get out and enjoy it a little bit. Get your little vitamin D natural, Because time changes pretty soon, and 5:30 in the evening, it's gonna be dark, and ain't no fun when you can't get out loafing in the evening a little bit. But anyway, as always, may the good Lord take a liking to you. Not too soon, no. And just be safe and careful out there. Austin.